Thanks. Well, like you, I think there is nothing more important than our children's education. And I'm afraid I think our government is just taking our children for granted. And every single week I'm hearing terrible stories from our schools about the impact of funding
What's
cuts.
going on in your constituency?
Yeah, so I've got school governors and head teachers telling me they're not replacing teaching assistants when they're leaving. So they're just leaving those vacancies free, which means less support in the classroom. I heard you talking about that just now. Obviously, that means sometimes the most vulnerable children, particularly those with special needs or who just need that extra bit of support, are not getting it. I'm hearing about school trips being cut or cancelled, extracurricular activities being slashed, parents being asked to bring in things like tissue boxes and all sorts of small things, as well as big things that you would expect the school just to be able to fund. And ultimately, if our kids are not able to do all of those extra things, as well as some of those core subjects, which already, as you were pointing out, the resources aren't necessarily there to support them. It's our children that are suffering, and they're having a less rich experience in terms of their education, and they will ultimately suffer. And what I'm hearing from our governors and head teachers is there is literally nothing left to cut unless they start laying off more staff. And as I said, some of them are already deciding not to replace teaching assistants. I've been bringing this up regularly with government. I think they feel that because they push in £2 billion in the autumn statement, that's plugged the gap. Well, it hasn't, because remember, the teachers' pay rise wasn't funded. A couple of my schools have seen their energy bills go up fivefold in the last few months. And yes, there was some energy support put in, but it doesn't cover the difference. And in fact, we know that at the end of March, that level of support is going to reduce a lot. Food prices are going up. So I've heard from some of my schools just this week that the money they get from government for free school meals for infants won't cover the cost of free school meals from their caterers, because obviously food prices have gone up. And the money they get from government for school meals doesn't cover that. And all of those costs are going to have to come out of existing school budgets, which means children's learning will suffer. We can't keep taking our children for granted. They're our future, and we need to be doing as much as we can to support them and funding schools properly.